Hello, Inner Explorer, and welcome to our last meditation of February, which is all about the root of desire. So, through this session, we're going to learn how to inquire within ourselves what the experiences that we actually want. And to gain a deeper understanding of what we're doing here, I want to give you an example that's personal for me. I remember embarking on this path as an entrepreneur and working for myself, that I've always wanted to support myself as I was building my own business. And it didn't just happen once, it happened multiple times where I would be in a job, a part time job, and I would find myself not aligning with the values of the company. Maybe I would align myself with the values, but I wouldn't feel aligned with how the manager was treating the employees. I often had the feeling that the employees weren't listened to. And the manager was just like, this is the way it is, and this is the way it will go. You might recognize this yourself. And I remember at one point there was a conversation coming up, these one-on-one conversations where you talk about how you're doing within the company, what your goals are to continue growing there. And I just remember thinking about this conversation and just feeling so much stress in my body for even going into it, because the last conversation that I had with them, it had been very emotional from their end, not very professional. I didn't feel listened to at all. And so with this conversation upcoming, I was like, how can I deal with this in a healthy way? Also knowing that I was actually, you know, gonna quit in not too long because they weren't listening to the employees. So it was a bit of an interesting situation where I felt this very physical response. And I knew that I wanted to go into this conversation being centered, being peaceful, as I was already cultivating that deeply within myself. But still there was this stress. And so I stopped for a moment in the doing and the moving from one thing to the next. And I felt the stress in my body. And I asked myself, what is it that I actually want here? What is it that I actually want to experience? And I thought about it for a moment. I sat with myself in meditation, like we are about to do as well. And I asked, yeah, what is it that I want to experience? And as I asked myself that, and I saw the conversation between me and the manager play itself out, and I allowed myself to daydream, I just kind of felt like, oh, I want this manager to see me. I want them to see me in how much I care for this work. And I want them to see me in what I bring to the table, and not just, yeah, say that it's not or act like it's not really important. So it's like, okay, so you want to be seen. That makes sense. But I also felt like there's more to it. And I allowed myself to feel deeper. Okay, so what is it that you receive when you feel seen by this manager? I kind of played it out in my head, right? What is it that you get then? And I said to myself, well, if I feel seen and he listens to my ideas, then I'll feel valued. I was like, okay, you feel valued. That's interesting. Yeah. And getting to the words of feeling valued within the company, for me, that hit something deeper. And I noticed that I had this physical response to it. And so that's where I sat. I sat with that feeling of wanting to be valued by this person, this manager. And it's like, okay, let me just stay with this for a while, because I can feel that my body is physically responding. And so somehow the words feeling valued was something that was triggering me at that time. And I realized that this was about so much more than just a conversation. It was really about me wanting to feel valued, not just by this manager, but just in life. And it's not up to that manager in the end to give that to me. It's up to me to feel where I still hold those insecurities, still held those insecurities, and then allow myself to be held within that space. And I found that when I did that, there was already a lot more recognition coming from different ways because I was able to perceive it. I was able to see that I was valued in so many more ways than just what my manager was able to give me. And so this anecdote, I share that with you because this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to find an example within our lives. So I'm going to invite you to start thinking about an example. Maybe there's already something that came up for you, something that you're looking forward to experiencing, or perhaps something that you're not looking forward to experiencing at all, like this conversation that I had with my manager. Um, but it could also be something that you are looking forward to. So, say that you want to, I'm going to use previous examples. You want to experience a deeper love, a romantic love, or you want to experience a deeper friendship with someone, even if you haven't met them yet, or you want to experience more success in something that you're doing. We're going to take one of these roads, one of these things that you want to experience more of, and then we're going to ask ourselves, what is it that you get when you experience that thing? And we're going to do that in meditation, okay? So if you don't have something that's popping up for you immediately, then pause this video for a moment until you get clear on that thing that you want to experience more of, or that thing that yeah, that event that you want to take place or will take place. And then we'll continue from here. And I invite you, as usual, to find a comfortable spot, find a comfortable seat. And I always say comfortable, but can you check whether you are actually comfortable right now? Or do you want to maybe cross your legs differently? Are you wearing comfortable clothes? Or maybe next time you want to wear something that supports your meditation practice more deeply. That's okay. Just make a mental note of it now. Comfort is key when we want to turn inwards. Otherwise, we're just going to be adding more distractions because our clothes aren't very comfortable. So, are you comfortable? And then I invite you to close your eyes. And let's start this meditation off by welcoming ourselves. And you might have experienced in other explorations that sometimes we welcome ourselves by our own hands or by a deep stretch. But now we are welcoming ourselves mentally, welcoming the experience of this body. And you can do that by simply stating in words or by using your voice, welcome. Welcome, body. Even if there's little aches, little distractions happening in the body, you welcome those as well. Welcome. Welcoming the mind, saying welcome. Even if thoughts flow in that feel random or distracting, we welcome those as well. We're the space holder here. Welcome. And we're going to welcome in our emotions as well. We're just going to say welcome to our emotions. Welcome. And if there's anything else that you feel is important to welcome into your practice, then do that now. Perhaps you want to welcome nature, or you want to welcome your version of God, or you want to welcome your cat that might be curled up on your lap. Welcome it as it is. Welcome. And I welcome you as you are right now, today. And I welcome myself as I am today. Welcome. And so we now bring into our mind's eye the experience that we're either looking up against or we're looking forward to, whether it's already set in stone or not. And through our mind's eye, meaning our imagination, which is so powerful, we allow ourselves to daydream about it for a moment. Even if it's something that we're looking up against, we're just allowing the event to play itself out a little bit, as much as it is being shown to us at this time, as much as our mind can project. So you might see yourself within the surroundings of it, or you might see the person that you're talking to, or you might simply feel it or know it. And as we allow ourselves to be in that experience, even if it's quite slight, we ask ourselves, what is it that we truly want to experience here? What is it that I want to experience here? So you might have gotten an answer. What is it that you want to experience here? So in my case, it was about being seen. In that conversation, I wanted to be seen. Okay. What is it for you? What do you want? It's beautiful to acknowledge already that you got perhaps an answer or perhaps a feeling out of that question. We're going to continue asking this question until we feel we've hit something. And that can be in a physical sensation, or it can be with you feeling a lot of resentment, or mm, like you don't want to go any further. I think all of those things are signaling that you've gotten to a pain point, a block. So we're going to ask ourselves that question again. So what if it plays out like this, and in my case, I feel seen. What is it that I receive when I feel seen? So I invite you to ask yourself the same question. What is it that you experience when it plays out in the way that you want it to? What do you experience then? What is it that you receive? And allow whatever wants to arise to arise. It might be a single word, it might be an image, it might be a sound or feeling. And so in my case, it was about being valued. So when I was seen and I asked myself the question, what do I receive when I feel seen? I will feel valued. And so for me, I hit a sweet spot there. I noticed that that had a physical implication when I allowed myself to see how I actually desire to be valued. And if you haven't gotten there quite yet, or you don't feel like you've hit that spot, I invite you to continue asking the question, what is it that you receive when you feel valued? I would continue asking for myself. So you might notice that we're moving down the line. We're moving from A, B, C, D, moving deeper into the desire. So I just asked myself again the question, what is it that you get when you feel valued? And so before, that's where I felt I had the sweet spot, but I just asked it myself in this meditation. And I asked myself, what is it that you receive when you feel valued? And that's where I got to something new, a new layer. And I felt like, oh, then I'll feel I'm of importance. Okay. So that hit something deeper for me today. So if you can continue asking this question, and if you feel like you've hit it, then stay there for a while. Stay with the resonance. Now, if you feel like you haven't quite gotten there yet, please pause this video and continue the inquiry, but stay very present with any physical sensations or the need of the mind to sometimes continue going in loops. Usually, when we're 2 layers in or 3 layers in, we have gotten already quite far in uncovering what it is that we actually desire. And if you've landed somewhere like me, something where your body responds, I invite you to stay here for a while without trying to fix it or change it or talk yourself or motivate yourself out of it. I just invite you to stay with the desire that has spoken and what it wants, what it truly wants. And if it feels uncomfortable, see if you can stay with it for a moment longer, knowing that it's an echo of the past, an echo of something that wanted to be seen in the past, wanted to be witnessed in a way that wasn't available for them at the time. And just stay with it like a caring parent would or a loving friend would. And breathe. Now, before we round off this meditation, I'm going to invite you into one more question that kind of packages it all together. And that's the question of, what could life feel like? What could life feel like if I allowed myself to feel, and then insert the last thing that the desire truly wanted? So in my case, it would be, what could life feel like when I allowed myself to feel truly important? And also here, we just drop in that question, and then we witness without needing to debate ourselves into it or figure out how we're going to get there. We're just going to drop in that question: what would life feel like if I allowed myself to feel? Fill in the blank. I'm going to be silent for the next 2 minutes, and I invite yourself, I invite you to feel into what life would feel like if you allowed that desire to just exist. Hmm. I could personally stay here for a long time. It might be that Dropping in that question brought on a lot of opposing thoughts. Thoughts that say, oh, it's not possible, and this is why. Or it might feel that your body actually felt restricted and not open to it. But that is exactly showing you where the frequency is still aligning. I invite you to slowly start opening your eyes again. Still allowing yourself to remember the root of that desire that you just felt. And resistance can actually be a good thing. It can show you the parts that are not on board. But the great trick is not to battle those. It's just to let them speak their thoughts without engaging with it any further. Because you ultimately, conscious you, decides the course. And the fact that it had movement at all, that it was triggering at all, means that something is moving inside of you even. So I always say, like, resistance is not a bad thing. It shows you that you're aligning yourself to something greater. Thank you for journeying with me today. I would love to hear how this was for you. I know I say this at the end of every video, but it truly means a lot when you tell me about your experience. You might be able to support other explorers. Also, if you don't understand something, because I can start sometimes talking about these big things, but it might not fully land with you. If you have questions, I would love to know, because I get to learn from that as well, and improve my meditations together with you. But for that, I do need to hear you. So don't be shy. Let me know how it was. And I look forward to seeing you in our next meditations. The month of March is going to be focused on the senses. So we're going to be exploring mindfulness through the senses of hearing, seeing, smelling, and tasting, and also touching. And it's going to help us soften the nervous system by becoming more present. So I look forward to sharing those with you. And I can't wait to see you at the next one. Thank you for being here. So much love your way from Amsterdam. Goodbye.